Каждый вторник в 12:10 один из самых известных раввинов нашего времени, Маниса Фридман, в прямом эфире отвечает на вопросы наших слушателей. Вы услышите мнение самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш имейл info@rusa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.
Добрый день всем, кто сейчас настроен на радио USA. Сегодня вторник. По вторникам мы говорим Thank God It's Tuesday, особенно в это время, когда ведем передачу Thank God It's Tuesday с раввином Манисом Фридманом, и по-другому ее не назвать. Ну а сейчас у нас, конечно же, время горячее, и общение с ним просто необходимо. Даже вот по таким, может быть, интересным, или, может быть, можно их назвать смешным или странным вопросам, как реклама по борьбе с антисемитизмом во время Супербола. На нее потратили порядка 15 миллионов долларов, ну, плюс-минус. И вот что она дала, какие впечатления, какие мысли. И насчет всего этого, ну, еще, конечно, намного больше всего другого, мы поговорим с раввином Манисом Фридманом. Rabbi Manis Friedman, hello, thank God it's Tuesday. So good to have you on our radio on Tuesdays. Amazing. Can't wait every week. Looking forward to it. And this week, the topic is kind of funny, but maybe not so much. And that is about the Super Bowl and the commercial that ran during the Super Bowl, which probably estimates around $15 million. Those are the current rates for a 30-second commercial during Super Bowl, like about, 140 million people watch it. So there was a Super Bowl commercial which was paid for by the owner of New England Patriots, Robert Kraft. Before we go into discussing, your opinion about the consequences, that outcome, the effect of this 30-second commercial, which of course I'm sure was put there in good faith. Let's watch it first. So, 1 second.
Bro, look at. Did you see that? Should we tell him? So bad. Oh my gosh. Stop.
Do not listen to that.
Thank you, man.
I know how it feels.
So this is it. This is the commercial. Ran once during Super Bowl, around $15 million. What do you think?
I hadn't seen it. I hadn't heard it. I'm ashamed to say I don't even know who won the Super Bowl. It's embarrassing. I know.
No, it's not. The Patriots did not. The owner who put out $15 million for this commercial lost. Did he lose just the game, or did he lose $15 million in vain as well? What do you think?
I'm sure they did studies. They didn't just invest $15 million with, on a hope. I'm sure they did studies that showed that this would be very effective with other minorities. I'm not so sure. Minorities don't like to be compared to each other. Like, we all like to think that we suffer uniquely. Just like when there's God forbid, a tragedy and someone says, I understand how you feel. We don't like that. No, you don't understand how I feel. So I don't know how effective.
There was a lot of commotion after it ran in the social media, of course, that Jews were portrayed as victims.
Yep.
and they chose this very scrawny-looking Jewish boy who is afraid of his own shadow, obviously, who's upset about the disposition he is in. Obviously, this is probably not the first incident. Well, it's like if you look at the story. And there were a lot of continuation on social media, how people would like to see this commercial evolve into something else. Some people wanted to see this boy make aliyah and go into the IDF, join the Israeli army, and serve as a soldier and show that, this is the Jewish pride, Jewish spirit. There was another AI commercial that showed how this boy became a super scientist and saved the life of this kid who bumped him in school and, put that sticker, Dirty Jew, on his backpack. So there was a lot of, afterthought. How would you, what do you think would be most impactful if this is not it? What would
Nobody suggested that he should become a quarterback and win the Super Bowl?
No. Would that be a true victory for this Jewish boy?
No. No, I think portraying ourselves as victims only adds anti-Semitism. Maybe it wins you a friend or two, but it definitely increases the anti-Semitism. Because people are not sympathetic to victims, even though they always protect the underdog. But that's when they're looking for a cause. There are plenty of causes, and anti-Semitism is a cause. So you think that you're going to gain sympathy because we're the underdog. Nobody sees us as an underdog. An easy victim, yes, but an underdog, no. It's like when they hate the rich people, when they hate the successful people. We're not a disadvantaged minority. And to even suggest that makes you the laughingstock. Are you kidding? You're underprivileged? Hey, you have your own country. Yeah. But whatever it is, nobody buys it that Jews are underprivileged and need sympathy. So that whole approach, it's been going on for a long time. We can't seem to shake it. Maybe if we suffer more, they'll have more sympathy for us. They won't. No matter how bad things are for us, we are not disadvantaged because we are the chosen people. How can you be disadvantaged when you're the chosen people? So for that alone, you're advantaged, not disadvantaged. We can't think of ourselves as the common or typical minority disadvantaged victim. We can't. And nobody likes it when we compare ourselves to them. And it's true, it's legitimate. What are you comparing? The wealthy Jews who have the atomic bomb to people who are still suffering from the effects of slavery? I remember this man was converting to Judaism. He was a black man, and he was talking about how he's so self-conscious. Because, his difference is so obvious. I said, I know. In Minnesota, I'm also self-conscious. Why, am I not obviously different. And he gave me this look like, I'm not even going to answer you. And he's right. I dress the way I dress, and I let my beard grow because I want to. Can't compare. You can't compare. It's not nice to compare. Everybody has their unique challenges, and you got to give them a little respect for that. At the very least, your challenge is unique to you. $15 million. Well, he's got the Jews talking anyway.
Yes, for sure it does. So,
Jews have what to talk about.
but it's just what keeps on talking is, how do we want to be portrayed? There's also someone on social media that created an AI ad with a big, huge built Jewish guy with a huge Magen David around his neck, and also had this blue tag on him says, "Try me." You know, I mean, so the question is, how do we want to be portrayed? Do we want to be portrayed like IDF? Do we want to be portrayed like brilliant scientists who are saving the world? Do we want to be portrayed as tough guys? How do we want to be portrayed? What is the perfect commercial for us?
The irony of it is, a Jewish man who owns a football team, who pays $15 million for the ad, claims that he's a victim and a minority that is disadvantaged. Are you kidding? What? It's a joke. We are not disadvantaged. We are uniquely advantaged. People don't like that? Well, then tell them how we got there. Don't deny it. Don't pretend to be what you're not. People don't understand what it's like to be advantaged, so explain it. Show them how you handle being advantaged, but stop claiming to be disadvantaged.
Rabbi Fridman, you know what was the serious irony of this Sunday? The Super Bowl is on Sunday, and 140 million or so people are tuned in, you know, don't miss a beat. The ball is being thrown passed around, halftime. Even more people are watching, about 165 million. Every commercial is worth at least $15 million. I mean, you know, big things are happening over there. And Super Bowl, event of the year. But you know, what was the super duper bowl? That was happening on Chabad.org. The streaming of women's kinnis, rebbitzins from all over the world. I was watching that. From all over the world, telling their stories of pure goodness, pure kindness, how they, in their 20s, not having any experience, not having any, just would pick up their brand new families, move to a country like China from United States or further, doesn't matter, where there's no Jewish life, but there are Jewish people who need to be taken care of, who need guidance, who need just basically a place to go to. And they took their families, they built their families there, and they have communities. And their whole life is about taking care of others. I don't know why 9 billion people would not be watching it. I don't know. I know that I couldn't stop watching it because there is nothing more inspirational than that anywhere ever.
You should have been there.
I would have loved
You're
to.
also a shlucha.
I hope. One day I'll be invited to. It was incredible.
Yes, very incredible.
But people are not
The
talking
unsung
about it.
heroes. Their husbands get all the attention. The husbands get all the praise, but they are the real heroes.
Yeah.
No question about it.
If someone would just tune in for 5 minutes, they would understand why the world keeps working, why it's still, why the wheels are still going around. It's because of these women. It's because of what they do.
Yeah. For sure, for sure.
But no one knows.
Yeah. So this anti-Semitism business, it is a mystery. You can't describe it as a minority, as homeless, countryless people. However you want to define the Jewish people, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. All those definitions just don't apply. We are different. And that difference is a good thing. And unless we can tell the world what that difference is, we're going to leave it to their imagination, and that's not going to be pretty. So you're asking, how do we present ourselves, identify ourselves properly?
Yes.
That we have a great army, that so many owners of football teams are Jewish. It's like a hobby. Rich Jews collect football teams. That we make great comedians, that we make great scientists. That we are the startup nation. Great startups. That's all besides the point. What does it mean to be Jewish? Why can't we tell the world? And when we tell the world, it resolves a lot of doubts and a lot of suspicions, and people like to hear the truth. So why don't we tell the world that we are representatives of God to the world, bringing the word of God to the people, not by missionizing or converting, but simply by educating and being a role model. What is the role model? We haven't had our own country. We haven't been secure. We haven't been safe. We haven't been at peace for 2,000 years. But our knowledge of God and our devotion to God has not gotten weaker, it's gotten stronger. If you need a role model for that, here we are. The chosen people suffering the iniquities of other nations without losing our moral fiber or our godly devotions. Are we perfect? More than perfect. You can be perfect when you have your own country, you live in peace, you're secure, you can do your own thing, nobody bothers you, nobody invades you, nobody exiles you. Then you can be perfect. And what's so special about that? But when you can be good against all odds, you're more than perfect. So what we need to tell the world is we are Jewish by virtue of the fact that we have a godly soul that is on loan to the world. We're here as a service to the world. Where's the arrogance in that? Where's the elitism in that? Yes, it's a unique job, only because only one people were given the job, so it's unique. There's no arrogance to it. There's no hubris to it. There's no elitism. There's just a lot of hard work against all odds. And I think we're doing more than anyone could have expected, which is more than perfect. It's above and beyond.
And how do we package that in 30 seconds?
I just did. You don't have to repackage it. That's it. That's the story. No gimmicks, no shtick. That's it. We are chosen. What are we going to do about it? What should we do about it? Tell God we don't want? You're chosen, then you have no choice but to be chosen. So although we kvetch and complain, we've never given up the job. We've had plenty of reason to quit, but we never quit. And that is to our eternal credit. After the Holocaust, when it was literally dangerous to be a Jew, every Jewish father and every Jewish mother told their children, we are Jews. Maybe they didn't have the courage to say it in public, which is understandable. But why didn't they just drop it? It's not popular. It's not even safe. Let it go. Every parent, every Jewish father and mother wanted their kids to know, we are Jews. And therefore, we are different. And therefore, you have to behave a certain way. That's awesome. And we have no one that we are indebted to. No one helped. No one made us Jewish. We had to do it by ourselves, on our own, independent. So it's a good thing that we're a stiff-necked people. Sometimes you need to be very stiff-necked, not to give up the ship.
Rabbi Fridman, going back to all the people out there, the rabbis and rabbitans that are part of going into the world at a very young age to help people, just basically. There's no other agenda. It's just to be there for others. There's no salary attached to it. There's no promises attached to it. There's no guarantees or compensations or anything like that. And 5,000 people were just here on Sunday. I mean, all the women have husbands and children, of course, obviously. But there are way more than 5,000. What is the number? Do you know? What is the number of, just in Chabad alone, of those who just go into places where there's nothing, no Jewish life, no accommodations, no salaries, no promises, and they just go out there and they build communities. I don't know. Well, 5,000 were women representing were here this Sunday, but
those who could make it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And every single one of those 5,000 ladies and their husbands are just doing whatever they're doing for others, not for themselves, for others. Is there anyone else in the world like that who will go anywhere, not knowing exactly where, and do something like that?
There are individuals, but there's no group that does it based on a philosophy, on a principle, on a commitment. There are good souls who have very positive influence on others. And somebody said that the average human being, in the course of their life, influences and affects 200 others. If you live life, you interact with people, and you affect about 200 people. This was a funeral home director. He said the average attendance at a funeral is about 200. So the average person affects 200 people who care enough to come to their funeral. To a shlucha, 200 people? In a lifetime? No, 200 people a week. How many people does a shlucha affect in 40 years of shluchas? 50 years of... One woman, they were celebrating her yahrzeit who just passed away. 66 years of shluchas. When did she start? When she was 5? So it's totally unique. The Rebbe created it out of take regular people, ordinary kids, and raise them with a passion for serving. Not one, not 10, thousands. And they're still growing. Girls who never saw the Rebbe, who were born after the Rebbe passed away. And they have a passion to go somewhere, anywhere, and serve the community. It's amazing.
Rabbi Fridman, wouldn't people be impressed if they knew about this? The masses. Wouldn't they be impressed by something like this?
Yeah. But you got to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
It's so fantastic. It sounds like, yeah, sure. But when you see it, you got to wonder, what are these people made of? And it's not like they're missionaries. It's not like they're carrying out some holy work. They're just regular, down-to-earth people because they can't think of a better way to spend your life. Not some religious obligation.
Rabbi Fridman, we don't need to talk about them because it's you. It's you too. It's you in a very big way. How did you do it? How old were you when you and your wife went to Minnesota?
Well, I can't compare. The women are, first of all, much better at multitasking. So they can not only wear different hats, they can wear them all at the same time. They can be pregnant, feeding a child, on the phone, counseling someone in their need. And without any awareness that they're doing anything special. So yeah, I was a shliach and my wife was a shlucha, but I wasn't pregnant 14 times. I didn't have kids climbing on me constantly. To raise the kids, to run the home, and be a shlucha. You can't believe it unless you see it. It doesn't seem humanly possible.
It really does. It really doesn't. I don't know. I don't understand it. It's absolutely above any kind of logic, for sure. I mean, besides, not like that's a small task for 14 children. Amazing. It's something that's unbelievable right there and then. What were some of your wife's other responsibilities, I'm afraid to ask?
If somebody needed to talk, if somebody needed advice, if somebody needed to go to the mikveh, you had to be available. Or she had to be available. And there are women who do much more than that. They run a school. They run the Chabad house. We didn't have to do that. We worked at a Chabad house. So we didn't have the responsibility of fundraising. We didn't have the responsibility of maintenance of the building. It is not to be believed. Even when you see it, it's hard to believe. I see it, but I don't believe it. So it's not only what they do, it's how they do it. So naturally, so joyfully, as if they weren't doing anything special. And then they become first responders. Chabad has become famous as being first responders. Wherever there's a disaster, wherever there's a hurricane, wherever there's... The first responders are Chabad. President Bush mentioned it. Before FEMA can get its act together, Chabad already had rowboats in Katrina. Chabad already had rowboats delivering food to people. You don't learn about that in yeshiva. It's just that willingness and being available to whatever needs to be done.
Yeah, no one knows about any of this, unfortunately. And this is it a problem for us? Is it a problem because we keep on complaining about losing the PR war? Anything that gets into the media, it's all either portrays us as victims, as we have started this talk today. We're either victims, or we're the oppressors, or we're weird. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not this. It's not what actually is happening to the majority. I mean, there's. Why are we losing this PR war? Why is something? As I said, yes. 140 million people were glued to Super Bowl. I was glued to hearing these women's stories who are incredible. They're miraculous. They're above logic. They're above this world. It's a lot more interesting than seeing the ball fly around. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anybody out there. Super Bowl is great. It's a lot of fun, but you know, we have to weigh things out properly. And it's just, your soul flies when you hear this, when you see what kind of people are out there and what they're doing. It's so much more, and yet we can't get the world interested, or even just give them the knowledge of the fact that this is happening. Why, Rabbi Fridman? Do you have a clue? I don't.
Well, I can see you were moved to tears by this. You were really inspired.
I'm inspired every day. I just have a reason to talk about it now because it just happened. It was on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. It should be a much more significant event on the calendar. And this happens every year.
Twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Twice a year. Once for men, once for women. So.
Yes, it should get better promotion and better airtime. For the Jewish world, at least, it should be the event of the year.
Yeah. And exactly my point. Even Jewish people don't really know about everything that is being done around the world by Chabad.
Yeah.
Каждый вторник в 12:10 один из самых известных раввинов...
So sorry about that.
So I guess that's because we're so humble. We don't think we deserve any special attention. And maybe we don't deserve it, but the world deserves it. The world deserves to know the good stuff that's going on. And maybe deserve is not the right word, but the world would benefit greatly from knowing.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And the big question is how to get this done. How do we do this with all the abilities now with AI, social media, so many tools? How do we let the world know what is really going on? Not what is being manipulated, or how do we do that?
I don't know. You're the media person, and you're doing it. But you know what happened last week? This guy drove his car into the doors of the synagogue of 770, knocked the door off the hinges. Everybody's wondering, what was that? What was that? Who was that? Still don't really know exactly what it was. But to me, it's very clear. People are knocking down the doors to hear what's going on in Lubavitch. Why do we have to have them knock the door down? Why don't we just open the door and tell the world? And we try. People think that Chabad is great at PR. We always have something, like the most recent event and occasion. There's always something to talk about, but we don't really talk about it. One of the beautiful things about the shluchim, when shluchim get together, you would think that they would talk about big events. I had an event, there were 20,000 people. I had an event, the place was packed for Yom Kippur or for Kol Nidre. Or we had more people, we raised more money. My building was $26 million, mine is... That's not what they talk about. They talk about this one guy who had never put on tefillin. And they got him to put on... That is their pleasure. That's their... Not something to boast about.
Or this one woman who started lighting candles. I know. I hear those stories as well. So it is amazing. It's amazing.
One person who died and was not cremated. It's always one person. And then, of course, the whole family became... But it was always one person. Don't lose sight of the simple facts. So we're not trying to be a super organization. We're not that good at being organized. But the cause, the purpose, the devotion, breathtaking. Breathtaking.
Yeah. Rabbi Fridman, thank you so much. This was so wonderful. What a conversation. Just speaking about it really brings so much light. Just this conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything that you do and for the time that you allocate for us. It's priceless. It's priceless for our radio and for our community. Thank you so much.
So next year at the Super Bowl, I'm just giving 30 seconds of the Kindles Hashluchais. It'll be worth $15 million.
I agree with you there. I think so. That is what we need to show. This is our pride and joy. And it's Hashem's pride and joy, God's pride and joy, for sure. There's nothing better.
That's who we are. It's not just something we're good at.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
Yeah. Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so, so much. Looking forward to next Thank God It's Tuesday. Be well. Ну а всем, кто нас сегодня слушал, большое вам спасибо. Спасибо за то, что вы есть. Спасибо за то, что мы вместе приносим свет в этот мир. На нашем радио мы это делаем вот сейчас, по вторникам, в это время с раввином Манисом Фридманом. Но я знаю, что вы все это делаете постоянно, потому что это то, что должно быть. Так что давайте вместе приносить свет, делать этот мир лучше и добрее. С этими словами я, Аня Пекерман, прощаюсь со всеми до следующей недели.
Soll schön sein, die Jule, soll schön sein, die Jule.